You die. You live. You die. You live. You die. Sadly, in my movies, everyone dies.
September 6th, 2019. Anchorage, Alaska. The evening sky hangs low over the city, a gray reflection on quiet streets. Surveillance cameras capture a man and a woman stepping out of a truck and walking toward a convenience store. He is Brian Stephen Smith, 48 years old, polite, soft-spoken, a familiar face around town. She is Valerie Kassler, 52, weary from the rain, unaware that the man beside her is hiding something far darker than a stranger's charm. From the outside, everything appears ordinary. But beneath that calm surface lies the aftermath of a crime that will shake the city. In the back of Brian's truck rests evidence of his latest killing. Evidence that, within days, will expose him as one of Alaska's most chilling predators. Inside the store, Brian buys drinks. Valerie waits in the truck, her eyes wandering across the dashboard until she notices a phone resting on the seat. She picks it up, thinking it's hers. It isn't. And what that phone contains will unravel a story of hidden violence, of recordings that document unspeakable acts, and of a man whose secret life will soon come crashing down. Hours earlier, Brian Smith had spent the night driving aimlessly through Anchorage after work, whiskey still lingering on his breath. Near the intersection of Gamble Street and East 13th Avenue, he noticed Valerie standing under the drizzle, a solitary figure by the roadside. He offered her a ride from the rain, and she accepted. For hours, they talked and watched planes rise into the night. To Valerie, it was nothing more than a brief escape from the chill. To Brian, it was camouflage, normalcy hiding monstrosity. Later, while he stopped at a gas station to use an ATM, Valerie's phone slipped from her pocket. Reaching down, she accidentally grabbed his instead. The moment felt trivial, but in that mistake lay the thread that would unravel everything. When she returned to her tent later that night, Valerie noticed the unfamiliar phone and began scrolling. Contacts she didn't recognize, numbers she had never dialed, and then a folder. Its title read, Homicide, Marriott, Hotel, Midtown, Anchorage. She pressed play. What she saw was so disturbing that her breath caught.
And when I reached down, I grabbed two phones. And you get like that chill feeling, you know? Something was not right.
There on the screen was footage that captured a woman moments before death. The man's voice, cold, calm, deliberate, echoed through the room.
Just put your face forward, you stupid. Do people have to be taught how to die these days? 112,000 years of evolution, we haven't learned to die with, huh? Time for you secure your 20 dollars down to my car and go dump you somewhere, huh?
Valerie froze. She scrolled further and found more files, more images, more evidence. Dozens of recordings, each bearing the same voice, the same chilling precision. Only then did she realize the man she had just spent the evening with was recording his crimes. For days, Valerie hid in fear. She stayed inside her tent, barely moving, terrified that Brian would return for what he believed was his phone. The dread consumed her until she made a decision that would change the course of the investigation. She turned the footage over to the police. When detectives opened the SD card, even seasoned officers were shaken. They reviewed the footage repeatedly, each time confirming what they already feared. This wasn't staged. This was real. A detective recognized the voice. It matched a suspect from an earlier unsolved case, Brian Stephen Smith. With that discovery, the investigation widened. Days later, remains found near mile 108 of the Seward Highway were identified as Kathleen Jo Henry, a 30-year-old Anchorage woman who had recently gone missing. The timestamps on the footage matched the night Kathleen disappeared. When investigators traced cell tower data from Brian's phone, it placed him precisely at mile 108, the same location where Kathleen's body had been recovered. His truck was captured by roadside cameras driving that route. The digital and physical evidence aligned perfectly. Detectives had their suspect, but Brian Smith was nowhere near Alaska. He was on vacation in Washington, D.C. with his wife. Authorities waited at the airport. When his plane landed in Anchorage, he was quietly taken into custody and brought to the interrogation room.
Mr. Smith, I'm Detective Lee, the Anchorage Police Department. I just want to show you my badge, my ID, so you know who you're talking to. This is Detective Bell, my partner. We have some matters we wanted to clear up with you and talk to you today, so I appreciate you coming up here with these guys and talking to me. Obviously, we're here at the airport. They brought you up here to talk to me, so we have some kind of a formality to get by. I have to read you what's called a Miranda warning. Do you know what that is?
Yes.
Sitting across from detectives, Brian appeared calm, polite, almost detached. They asked him about his GoPro camera, his trips, his recordings of Alaska's outdoors. He spoke freely until they mentioned the SD card.
I don't know when exactly they broke the window, but they... I got a phone call from one of the guys at work that said my window's broken. So as I'm down there looking at this, the messages start coming through on my phone. You know, your transaction at Lowe's for $500 and something dollars has been accepted, and I'm like, what?
Yeah, the little GoPro you said that was taken. What stands out about how does it? Because I'm not familiar with GoPros. How do they record memory into the camera, or do they record on something else, or how does that work?
Oh no, yeah, it's got a little SD card on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Like I said, we have some matters we need to clear up, and the thing we need to talk about is recently some property was brought to APD, and I was given that property as a little SD card, and I watched that SD card and I looked at it, and that's what I want to talk to you about.
Okay.
So what can you tell me? Because you mentioned the SD card and the GoPro camera, so what can you tell me about that?
Well, usually everything I record is stuff from my trips when I go out camping. That's why I got a GoPro. It's got a very high frame rate. So I'm trying to capture, if you ever look on YouTube, you'll see the guys shooting through like latex or through bottles or something, and you can see the bullet going through.
Shooting a bullet?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's when the questions tightened. The officers showed him still frames of his truck, the Marriott hotel room, and a woman matching Kathleen Henry's description. At first, he denied knowing her. Then slowly, inconsistencies began to appear in his story.
So like I said, it's about that SD card, and I wanted to kind of just see if this will refresh a memory here for you. That there, and that's it right there on top of that.
I've seen those. I've got one or two of those. You get those at Walmart.
Okay. And now is that one like the one you're missing? Because you said you're missing one out of the GoPro.
No, well, the whole GoPro's gone.
Oh, the whole GoPro's gone.
Yeah.
But was that the type of card that might have been in that GoPro when it was gone?
No.
Okay.
I've got one of these that I've been using for my 3D printer.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's why I've got these green ones. The other one's all black.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, and so like I said, this was brought to APD and given to me, and like I said, I viewed the images and the videos on that SD card.
Yeah.
And that's obviously that's how I got to you. That's how I figured out who you are.
Okay.
And that's what we need to clear up that matter of what's on that SD card.
Okay, what's on the card?
I just wanted to show you these pictures, see if they would help you kind of refresh the girl from that night.
Mm-hmm. No, that's not her.
Not her?
Just short hair.
Short hair, okay.
Short hair, no.
Okay, all right.
She looks like a drug addict.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you seen this woman before?
No.
Have you ever had any contact with her at all?
No. I have. Look, in the last 5 years that I've been here, probably starting about 2 years ago, I've probably gone out and picked up a girl or two. So I might have seen her before, but not fresh in my mind.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I told you on there that how I found you is like we saw your truck. Is that?
That's my truck.
That's your truck.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything else? And I'm going to step out here a minute, let you take a break, drink some water. Is there anything else about that evening that we haven't talked about that you want me to know about, or you think we should talk about?
No.
He admitted renting a hotel room. He admitted meeting women around town. But he claimed not to remember anything about that night. The detectives pressed harder. They had his vehicle. They had his voice. They had the footage. With each question, Brian's confidence thinned.
Well, you seemed curious about what was on you were asking me to show you what's on the SD card. I don't have it here to show you exactly what's on there, but I wanted to talk about it. And like I said to you a minute ago, the images led me to you. There's images on there that led me to you, and for multiple reasons. The truck, like I said, I knew that was your truck. You're saying that's your truck in the photographs. There's pictures of the Marriott. There's pictures of the Marriott, the hotel room on the GoPro, or excuse me, on that SD card. And that's how I knew it was that Marriott. It was the Midtown Marriott.
Okay.
And the pictures, I don't know, you probably know about this. I think you're into technology and stuff.
Okay.
Photographs, they have a time and date stamp. So the photographs are time and date stamped. So they basically, the photographs time and date stamp matched at the time that you were at that hotel room.
Okay.
So that's how this SD card has led me to you.
Okay.
And like I said, there's a number of images on there, and there's a number of videos on there, and I brought some of the pictures to kind of go over with you about that. So this is one of the images on there. Part of it is kind of cut down a little bit, but can you tell me what's in that photo?
There's somebody's feet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whose feet are those?
I don't know.
Okay. I'm looking at your shoe. I mean, it looks like the shoes you're wearing right now.
Yeah, it does, yeah.
Okay. Is it safe to say those are your feet in that picture?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm not the only person that's got shoes like this.
Okay.
I did recently buy these. I can't tell you when.
Okay, you can't tell me when. How long have you had them?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't know.
Where'd you buy them from?
These I would have got at Fred Meyer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I just want to show you some other images here and like I said, I've watched the videos and the images on there, and I've watched them multiple times, and that's why we're here. That's how I knew to talk to you. So these are just some of the other images on there.
Okay.
These are on the SD card.
Okay.
So what can you tell me about these photos?
This looks like someone that's really been beaten up a bit.
Okay. And these are images. These are images, but there's also videos of this person.
Yeah.
And another person in the room as well. And that's why we're here to talk to you about.
How many people in the room?
At least two.
Oh. Yeah.
So we need to address this. We need to clear this up.
Okay.
Mr. Smith.
His story shifted from denial to confusion, from confusion to a fragile admission that something terrible had happened, something he claimed not to recall. You're watching Behind the Crime Tape, where we uncover the real stories behind the investigations that expose hidden darkness. If you're here with us, take a moment to like, comment, and share this video so more viewers can join our deep dive into the cases that remind us truth always finds its way to light. Detectives continued to press Brian Smith in the interview room. Each answer revealed another inconsistency. The footage, the phone data, the hotel receipts, all converged into one undeniable picture. For investigators, this was no longer speculation. It was confirmation.
You think I hit this girl?
Well, like I said, there's videos of it. There's video of it, there's audio of it, there's a voice I've been talking to you now for almost 30, 40 minutes. And I know it was your voice I could hear in the video.
Okay.
And if you'd like to hear some of that, I can refresh your memory with it.
The same pictures are on the SD card with your truck that you said was your truck.
Yeah, these are all on the same as your truck here. So.
It sounds like me. What's happening when that's...
What's happening is on this video, on these images, the person that's recording it is holding the recorder and is standing basically above this girl and strangling her.
Okay.
And so we need to talk about this. We need to get ahead of this, Mr. Smith.
I don't want to act stupid, but I don't remember anything. I don't remember anything.
Okay. So what you're saying is that definitely you talking on the recording, on the audio there, that you don't recall that?
That sounds like my voice. I've got a unique voice. So
absolutely.
It's English mixed with the Dutch.
And you talking and like I said, there's about 12 of these videos, and I've watched every single one of them multiple times, unfortunately. And you talking, you know what you're doing in those videos. I mean, you're describing what's going on in those videos. And so, Mr. Smith, I don't believe that you don't remember this happening. And like I said, we need to talk. We need to get ahead of this because this is pretty big here.
Yeah, but this is not the girl I picked up.
Okay, but that's definitely your voice on those audios. And I have no doubt about it. Like I said, I mean, your shoes are in the picture, your truck's in the picture, a Marriott cart, as you pointed out, is in the picture.
Yeah.
And then I can also point to this to you. This is the SD card file. And look at the fourth one down, what the name of that file is. Homicide, Marriott Hotel, Midtown, Anchorage. And this was modified on September 24th, 20 days later.
I did not do that. Why would I make a file like that?
While Smith remained under questioning, forensic teams searched his pickup and his home. From hard drives to cameras, memory cards to computers, every digital trail was examined. What they uncovered revealed a disturbing pattern, evidence suggesting that Kathleen Henry was not the only victim.
Look, I don't remember anything else, really, I'm sorry.
I think you do remember it, Mr. Smith, and we need to, and like I said, we need to talk about it because right now this right here is a small portion of this investigation, but this is just a small part of a very large investigation, and we're talking to people, we're talking to your wife, okay?
When have you spoken to her?
We're talking to her right now.
Right now.
Okay, and like I said, this is I mean, this is going to hit the news, and this might be your one chance to talk to give your side of it, to give your story. And that's why I'm here to talk to you today. I didn't have to come here and talk to you. I could have just had him take you. But I wanted to give you that opportunity to explain this because we got the evidence. We know you were out there. Your phone shows you were out there.
Yeah, well, it's showing it, yeah. I'm not...
So we need to talk about it. We need to address it.
Yeah, well, look, this sounds very serious. No matter what, I'm going to be in deep. So, okay, I'll tell you what I remember. The next day at work, I saw something dripping out the back of my truck. And I was like, what? And I opened up, and there was somebody there underneath. There was a blue, like a tarp at the back of my truck. And the back flap doesn't really lock. I've actually put a padlock on now since then. And I saw somebody, and I was like, what must I do? What must I do? And because I've been out before, I thought, who's going to believe me? It's like the guy that gets stopped and he's got drugs in his pocket, and it's like, it's not mine. That's the way I was feeling. No one's going to believe me. So I was thinking for a long time, what must I do? And then the one night I thought, well, I've got to get rid of this. I can't. And I drove out, and I did. I went and dumped it.
Why didn't you, when you saw it dripping out of the back of your truck, and
I was scared.
If you didn't remember what happened, why didn't you call somebody and say, hey, there's somebody in the back of my truck?
Well, that's the thing. Who would believe me? It's like I said. It's like the guy walking around. Police found drugs in his pocket. And he says, no, it's not mine. And everybody says, oh yes, we believe you. It's the same thing. Who would have believed me that I found something in the back of my truck? I don't remember.
So you're admitting that you were at the hotel. That's your stuff. That's your voice. And you admit that you took the body out there and dumped the body, right? So why would there be photographs of her in the back of your truck at the dump site, which you admit to doing? On the same SD card, listen to me.
Okay.
On the same SD card that has all these photos on it and videos of you killing her. So tell me how a body can be found in the back of your truck randomly while you're at work, because you want us to believe somebody else put that body in there. And then you just happen to drive it out there, and there's photographs
On the same SD card?
On the same SD card of this woman in the back of your truck with the sheets that are on that card.
Like an angle, like an action shot. I get the Oscar. Goes once for yes, goes twice for no. Oh geez, that was like there was 2 gasps. But you're just listening to me. Okay. So here's the throat, here's the hair, here's the string I've got. I've really got a string there. Okay, I'm gonna pull the string quickly. Yeah, it's all tightened. Just put your face forward, you stupid. Do people have to be taught how to die these days? After 120,000 years of evolution, we haven't learned to die yet. Huh? I don't have time for you. You are drinking time. I got a bottle of whiskey still to go through, and it's already like tonight. Come on, just take one for the team. Huh? Take it for the team. Take it for the team. Super. I know this is like weird, but swallow it. Just fucking swallow it. To carry your sweaty ass down to my car and go dump you somewhere, huh? You just up my entire evening. Just finish, please. I'm tired. I need to go on straight and narrow. Just stop.
I just cannot understand why I would do something like this. And that's what your question is. Why would I do that?
I mean, we know you did it. You know you did it. We're just looking for, and there may not be a why that you think is reasonable, right?
Yeah.
But there is a why as to what happened. We might not know why it happened, but you know what happened. You're gonna see what happened. You're gonna see what you did.
I just don't know why would I get angry like that?
Because you're not angry.
Yeah. So you said
No, you're very calculated. You're narrating in it.
Why would I say I've got an audience?
I'm not saying that you have an audience, but you're clearly talking to.
Yeah,
you're not just talking to her. You're narrating this, and it's because of whatever fantasy it is that you have in your mind. Whether you're going to share this with other people or you intended on it, I don't know, but you certainly intended on viewing it yourself. And you're clearly exerting power over this person.
Jesus God.
Why don't you stop there? What do you think up until that point?
That girl's dying. It's my hands, it's my arm.
No, it's not going to be very hard to figure. Like I said, this is when this gets on a 55-inch TV.
Yeah.
There's no voice in this one.
That's TV in the background.
Yep.
Look how to you.
Yeah. She's alive there.
Yeah, there.
Camera.
That's my voice.
Gone now. My hands seem tired. Just.
I don't talk like that.
Among the recovered files were images and GPS coordinates that led officers to a second location off the Old Glen Highway. There, search teams found remains later identified as Veronica Abuchuk, a woman who had disappeared months before Henry. The same truck, the same recording style, the same voice. Anchorage investigators now faced one of the most significant homicide cases in recent state history. It was a rare example of a digital footprint so complete that it documented both the act and the cover-up. Yet beyond the data lay the human toll. Families who had spent years wondering, now confronting the weight of certainty.
Are you guys in a rush to go home?
Are we in a rush?
Yeah.
Do you want to talk some more?
We're not in a rush.
We got all night.
I have 2 days.
I saw your ears do that.
You know what? I mean, that's what we do. We love to talk.
Some time ago, I can't remember when, I picked up a very drunk girl. My wife was gone. She was away for the weekend. I took her home, and I shot her, and I know you guys are doing the good cop, bad cop. I know I'm gonna burn already, so, and I don't want you to have to waste your time.
We appreciate that.
But yeah, so I shot this girl, and then I went and dumped her out on that little side road going towards Butte. When you turn off the highway.
By the Cluton power plant?
Yeah, around about that area, yeah. You must have found her.
You may have. How long ago was that about?
Oh my God, 3 years ago. She was smelling. I knew she was homeless then. You know, she was stinking, and I was getting upset. And I said to her, "Go take a shower," you know, because now there's smell in the house. You know, Stephanie would smell like there was a homeless person in the house, and she wouldn't do it. She kept saying no, and I was worried that she's going to vomit now, because then I realized that she really had been drinking a lot. No excuse, but I had also been drinking a hell of a lot. Like I said, when Stephanie goes, that's Brian time, or as you call it, Brad time. I went through to the garage and I got my little pistol there, and I said to her, go shower, and she wouldn't, and I just did that, and I
While she was on the couch?
Yeah, I just shot her. Like, there was no. The messed up thing, I can tell you honestly, there was no emotion there. It was just, you're not listening to me, go shower. You're not listening to me. You know, I knew that the longer she stays there, the worse trouble I'm going to get in with Stephanie. She's going to stink up the place. If she vomits on the carpet, it's going to be, you know.
Prosecutors filed charges. They did so meticulously. 2 counts of first-degree murder, 2 counts of second-degree murder, tampering with evidence, and misuse of a corpse. Each detail was presented with care, ensuring that the story told in court would be one of facts, not speculation. At trial, the defense argued mental instability and memory gaps. The prosecution countered with precision, timelines, cell tower maps, forensic imaging, and the chain of custody of that single SD card that had sparked it all. Witness after witness described the investigation, how the file names, the camera model, and the geolocation data aligned perfectly with Smith's movements. When the jury finally retired to deliberate, they needed only a few hours. They returned with a unanimous verdict, guilty on all counts. The courtroom fell silent. Brian Stephen Smith faced life in prison, a sentence delivered without the possibility of parole. For the families of Kathleen Henry and Veronica Abushuk, it was not closure, but it was an ending. Their daughters' names would no longer be footnotes in cold case files. They would be remembered as the voices that helped bring a predator to justice. Outside, the community exhaled. The Anchorage Police Department commended the woman whose courage began it all, the stranger who had turned in the SD card despite her fear. Her decision had stopped a cycle of violence and allowed 2 families to learn the truth. In the months that followed, Anchorage residents began to see the case as more than a story of crime. It was a reminder of vigilance, of how one small act of conscience can dismantle layers of deceit. It was proof that even the most carefully hidden crimes leave traces, and that technology, when placed in the right hands, can give the voiceless a final testimony. From a forgotten phone to a global headline, the Anchorage Footage case revealed how truth can emerge from the most unexpected places. It showed that justice depends not only on science and law, but also on courage. The courage to act, to report, to believe that every piece of evidence matters. This is the story of how a single memory card brought a killer to justice, and it stands as a warning and a lesson to those who think their secrets will never surface. This has been Behind the Crime Tape, where every case is more than a crime. It's a window into the human choices that shape justice. If you followed this far, take a moment to like, share, and subscribe. Together, we keep these stories alive, not to dwell on darkness, but to understand how light breaks through it.